Hi everyone, it's Carissa and I am here with a card for you today, and this is actually a very special card for me because it is from Cricut Magazine. It is a card that I designed that was published in the August edition of Cricut Magazine, and I'll show you it here in the magazine. This is the card that I'm going to actually be putting together for you today. You can see right here it says, by Carissa Wiley. And then it has sprinkled with glitter.blogspot.com right by it. So I was pretty proud of this accomplishment for me, and so I thought I would put this card together for you on camera. So let's get started. I have some pieces cut here, and I used my Imagine to print these pieces out. But these shapes, this flower shape here is actually from the Forever Young Cricut cartridge. And then all the patterns that you see here, the green polka dot and this pink wavy pattern, it kind of reminds me of zebra pattern, but this is all from the Hopscotch Imagine cartridge. And so what I did, and you've heard me talk about this before, but in order to make this, I'm going to use it for a background on my card. In order to keep the scale a little bit smaller, instead of printing out a whole 12 by 12 page, I selected the square that comes as a preloaded card or a preloaded shape on the Imagine, and I just printed it at 6 inches and had it cut out. And that way the scale's a little bit smaller for the card, and also I don't use a whole piece of paper when I'm only going to use a little small amount of it. So this is 6 inches. It's cut from the Imagine preloaded shapes, and this is a preloaded shape on the Imagine as well, and it is cut at 4 inches. And then the flower shape from the Forever Young cartridge is cut at 3.5 with all the layers. So let's get started. I'm going to start with this piece here of the flower. And in order to give this flower a little bit of dimension, I am going to flip it over to the back side and kind of grind my knuckle into each one of these petals. And then I'm going to use this tool by Basic Gray. It's kind of like a rub-on transfer tool to go over those petals as well and kind of shape them to bend. So you kind of see how that's been done there. And then I'll just go over with this. It has a rollerball edge. It's by Basic Gray. And just kind of roll over the back side of these petals. Okay, so now that I've done all those petals, you can kind of see that they have like a bend backwards to them. So, and you could also kind of work it a little bit with your finger until you're happy with it. So that is how I shaped that flower. So let's go ahead and put this together. I know that some of you have been asking about this stamp runner here. This is by Tombow, and it's called the Stamp Runner. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this down onto the shadow piece. All right, and then this little center dot, I'm going to use dimensionals to put down, and I'm going to grab a bench because I'm going to use dimensionals on the flower part as well. Okay, and then I'll put some towards the inner part of this. And I added on that particular project, I added a rhinestone, and I'm just going to grab some glue dots here to put that rhinestone down in the center of the flower. So these are quite small, so I think I'll grab about 2 or 3 on the back of this rhinestone here. And then I just put it right on top of that brown piece. Now that brown piece isn't perfectly round like the rhinestone is, so it has a little peeking out, but that's okay with me. I'm going to grab my pin and I'm going to do the stitching work that I have on there. Now this is actually going to get cut down because I wanted more of this to show. So let me start cutting these pieces down. I have my chocolate chip cardstock base here. It measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it was 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And so I can set this little flower aside. And this piece of paper here is just going to get cut down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So there's that cut down. Okay, before I adhere this down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. This sentiment is actually from my Pink Stamper stamp set. It's called Simply Sweet Occasions. This one's actually autographed by Robin the Pink Stamper herself. This I won at CHA in 2010, Winter CHA, when she had just come out with her stamp sets. Was so excited to win. So I had her autograph that. But what I'll do is I will take my chocolate chip ink and I will ink it up. I think I'll stamp it right about there. So that says Heartfelt Thanks. And I meant to mention this earlier, but all of this printing and cutting that I did on my Imagine, I did on a textured white cardstock. So it kind of has a texture. You can't really see it probably in the video, but it does add some nice dimension to the card to have that textured cardstock on there. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down. Okay. And I have some chocolate chip ribbon here. This is also from Stampin' Up. And I have a ribbon slide. Now, the one in the picture is actually a circle, but this came from the same set. They're from Hobby Lobby. They're just their brand of ribbon slides. And so what I will do is go ahead and put this ribbon slide on my ribbon. I'm sorry if you can hear my washing machine right now. Okay, so I just need enough of this to where I can wrap it around the base of the card, so I don't need a whole lot of excess. And for this one, I'm actually going to use my ATG, and I'll just put, you know, 2 little strips, position this where I want it, and then wrap it. Oops. Okay, now this whole thing can go to the base of my card. And my last step is just to adhere my flower down on the front of the card. So I'm just going to use some dimensionals to do that. Okay, and there is my card for today. You can see this card once again in Cricut Magazine in the August edition. It's on page 84. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.